hard work and long hours may not be the best way to the executive office, at least according to one expert. Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office lists 101 mistakes and gives tips for avoiding them. Lois Frankel, a psychotherapist and executive coach, is the author of the book. Lois, good morning.
Good morning.
You coach both men and women
I do.
On their careers, and you say women are still not playing on a level playing field.
They still aren't, Anne, and part of the reason is because we have been taught since childhood to behave in certain ways, and it's really hard to let go of those notions of how we should behave.
You're saying it's our fault that women are paid a third less than men? Our fault that we have child care issues that prevent us from succeeding on the fast track that men can be on?
I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm saying what we do sometimes is collude with a system that would like to keep us in our place. You heard Hillary Clinton this morning mention something to that very effect.
Okay, so the system you're saying is that we're taught from very young that we need to be nice, that we're taught, you're saying in this book,
Yes.
to act a role of nicety. Where do we get this? Is this from our parents? Is this from society?
Both, actually. When you think about it, in childhood, little girls are taught to be nurturers, accommodators, don't make too much noise, don't call too much attention to yourself. That's as opposed to our male counterparts or our brothers who are given messages that work for them throughout their lifetimes. Messages like stand up for yourself, have a voice, don't let anybody take advantage of you. And that really works for them. But the messages that we get work against us.
So you're saying that after everything that has happened in the women's liberation movement, the revolution inside of ourselves still has yet to occur.
That's a great way.
And as a result, we're doing things like we avoid office politics, which is one of your 101 mistakes.
Yes, exactly.
How do we not avoid office politics? Actually, I think most men and women want to avoid office politics, but you say women more likely than men?
We'll avoid them. And what women have to do is see politics as nothing more than relationships. I'm constantly telling my clients, the business of politics is the business of relationships. And you need to have strong relationships. And when you need a relationship, it's too late to build it.
So build it. Start from the beginning and keep carrying it on. Also, you say the women make the mistake of obediently following instructions. As opposed to what? Arguing with your boss?
Yes, absolutely. Your boss pays you to think. I know the people in my office, I'm always telling them, question me. I may be wrong. I may not have the best idea. And women instead will acquiesce because they often see the authority figures in their lives as they did their father.
But don't you think that in that argument you want to make sure that your boss realizes that it's for the better good? It's not about winning an argument. It's about ultimately working for a common goal, which is to create the best product, create the best outcome, success for your operation, for the corporation.
Absolutely. I always say, if you have a complaint about something, don't just complain. Instead, accompany it with a solution and be strategic about it and communicate it in a clear and concise way.
You said that women ask permission all the time in the
absolutely.
workplace.
Yeah, and in our society, we expect children to ask permission. So whenever a woman asks permission, she winds up making herself look smaller.
So can I have this day off, or I need this day off? What in other ways do we ask permission?
Would it be all right with you if I worked on this project? Or would it be okay if I went on this trip over here? And instead, women need to learn to inform. That's what men do. Men inform. And they make the assumption if the boss doesn't like it, he or she will tell them.
You also say that women make the mistake of speaking last, so that they're the last to be heard. That they make the mistake of skipping meetings. Did they do?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the book was written because of a woman I was sitting with who was asked to sit on the executive committee of her company, and she said she wasn't going to. And when I asked her why not, she said, because those meetings are a waste of time.
So in other words, that's the thing that you're making us understand is that sometimes those things are not a waste of time because we're still building the relationships.
You're building the relationships.
That are not a waste of time ultimately.
Yes, and you're showcasing your capability, and that's what you want to do. You want to see yourself as a brand, and you need to hone and create and sell your brand.
You know, I want to get some of these others that you know, working too hard. I don't understand working too hard. I thought working too hard was what it was all about. That if you work really hard, your bosses are going to understand that, you know what, you're a good worker and we're going to reward you. What's wrong with working too hard?
It's a myth. It's a myth that the people who work the hardest get ahead. Hard work is really a baseline for success. What are you going to do to differentiate yourself from other people? And sometimes that means getting out of your office, building relationships, going to meetings, making presentations. If you're not doing those things, you're not going to get ahead.
You also say, don't feed others, don't smile inappropriately, and stop explaining. But, you know, I think a lot of people are afraid. A lot of